Hi, everyone. Welcome to the secret to getting more engagement on Instagram. Let's get started. Share my screen really quick and present our presentation. So today I'm going to teach y'all basically the secret to getting more engagement on Instagram. There are three main components to this, and let me just move everything around so I can get settled. But we are going to start with the agenda. So the things that we're going to talk about tonight are the headlines, the caption or the copy within your Instagram. That's the value that you're adding to your reader. And then the action to benefit CTAs. That's obviously going to be the last thing because that's where your call to action goes. However, it's also probably my favorite part. So we're saving the best for last. Compelling headlines draw users in and get them interested in reading more. Think about the headlines that you've read before in maybe it's a newspaper or on Instagram or maybe a newsletter, an email, but it compels you to want to open and read more. Crafting compelling headlines takes two things. It takes a little bit of creativity and some research. So the first thing you're going to want to do is research or kind of dwindle down what you want to say. What is your value? What content are you going to post in the caption? And I want you to write that first. If you write your content first, then you can base the CTA and the headline off of your content. So it's super important that you start with the content and work backwards. So once you do write your content, which we're going to talk about in a second, but once you do write your content, you're going to want to basically summarize it. So most content has something like a beginning, a middle, and an end, step 1, 2, and 3, or something before, during, and after. Whatever your content is, it's maybe using Young Living oils, maybe it's buying a house, getting a mortgage, the process to buying jewelry, getting a spray tan, a facial, your roof, whatever it is, whatever the content is that you're talking about, just kind of boil it down. And after you've written it, you're going to want to kind of summarize it in your head. And then you're going to find the hook inside of it. Because without a hook, your post will perform about as well as me trying out for the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. And that's not very well. So you're going to want a hook. And so this is my favorite part about a headline. Hooks will make the perfect reader curious to read more and make them say, wow, tell me more. So if we go back a little bit, compelling headlines draw users in and get them interested in reading more. So that's what we just talked about. It makes the perfect reader curious and it makes them say, wow, tell me more. So let's talk about the perfect reader for a second. The perfect reader is actually another word for your ideal client, your client avatar, who you're talking to, your audience, identifying your audience, all of those things. But think about whoever your perfect audience is or your perfect reader in this instance. Think about that person and speak to them. What would make them want to read this? Well, for us at Next Chapter Social, Angelin and I have clients that are like us that want to learn social media marketing in order to skyrocket their business. They are bought in. They're like, okay, I'm doing this business and I need to know more so that I can reach my dreams. And so our perfect reader is someone like us that wants to learn more in order to grow and reach their dreams. So here, this page is super important. These are hook examples. I don't really understand why this is cutting off, but that's fine. It says hook examples when it's all there. And these are basically hooks that you can incorporate into your headlines. And I'll show you about that in a second because I've written some in a couple of slides. So you'll see that. The hook is a promise. It's a value statement, and it gives the reader a front row seat to a better life. I know that sounds like what, that's just, stupid or hyperbole, but everybody's out there looking for the next greatest thing, the one thing that's going to wake them up and shake something loose. And I'll tell you a story here. I was a school teacher, and right when the whole Facebook kind of started, we had a tech lady who was helping the teachers implement classroom, fake classroom Facebook like groups. It was right before groups even started. I mean, I don't even think groups started, but my point is this. She said, all of us were kind of all up in arms. Oh, this is another thing we have to teach. Oh, this is so hard to teach. Why do we have to learn this platform? This is weird. And this was Facebook. They wanted us to use this fake Facebook in order to create a class group for disseminating information. So they were experimenting with how to use this. And the lady told me, she said something that will never leave me. And I don't know why that one little tip changed the way I thought about social media. She said, remember, or keep in mind, whatever, social media isn't about completion, it's about contribution. And for so many years, we've all been conditioned our whole life: complete the job, get it done, check it off. The list is, check off the list. Kind of like farmers, they plow the field, it's done. They plant the seeds, it's done. They harvest the crops, it's done. They wheel them over to the sale barn, it's done. But with social media, excuse me, it's constant, it's forever changing, it's always going, it's evolving, and it's kind of like a jump rope, a double dutch jump rope. You just have to jump in. And so the more you know about how it works, the better you can get in rhythm with the jump rope, right? So social media is about contribution. It's not about completion. You'll never know it all. You don't have to keep learning forever, but you need to know enough to make you dangerous. So a hook is a promise, a value statement. It gives the reader a front row to a better life. And I am in social media marketing now. I'm out of teaching. And that statement gave me the freedom to just contribute and know in my heart that I would never know it all. I would never be able to be finished or done with it. I could just jump in and join in. So I hope that is going to resonate with you, because whatever you're going to say to your reader could have the impact that that one little sentence had on me. And you probably have something just like that. So here are some hook examples. This is the best technique I've ever used. Trust me when I say you're going to want to save this. We're bringing the heat today, so buckle up, Buttercup. These are the top, insert number 3, 5, 7 ways to achieve blank. It's time for us to share a secret. Shh. Read this if you want blank, only for the people who are ready for cold, hard facts. I really like that one because it tends to make people like, I can handle cold, hard facts, and they want to read it because they're like, I'm one of those people. 5 things I wish I knew sooner. That will get me almost every time. It's time to stop doing the following things. This is the worst advice I've ever heard. Here are 5 of the most common mistakes I see in blank industry. Stop your scroll. We've got the biggest truth bomb to share. I like stop your scroll because it's clear. It's like, do this. And honestly, even though you have no authority over these people, a lot of times they'll stop because it says stop. And so they're just following a command. A lot of people just don't want to make decisions. They're just like, just tell me what to do. So I'm sometimes like that. 3 tips for blank that actually work. I actually use that one. I incorporate it in a second. You'll see. Has this happened to you before? And hear me out. So those are really good. You might want to screenshot this. so that you can use those for later. But you want to find that hook. Without a hook, your post will perform. Oh, I already said that. So, okay, be straightforward. Sorry, I was going backwards. You want to be straightforward in what you're saying. So let's go to the next one. Here are very, very straightforward headlines. This is a how-to headline. And so these are all the same headline basically, but I've written them in different ways. So how to make ghee in 5 easy steps. That is a headline, not a hook. We're going to combine these in a second. So let's say your post was about making ghee. Well, you're going to boil it down, right? How to make ghee in 5 easy steps. Then here's one with a benefit. Improve your digestion by substituting ghee for olive oil. Listicles, which y'all all know is my favorite. 5 delicious cake recipes using ghee instead of butter. Tips would be another listicle, but people, 5 delicious cake is a list of different cakes. This would be a list of different tips. So tips for using ghee in any meal, and reasons, 3 reasons to throw out your olive oil and replace it with ghee. So when you're creating a headline, figure out which one fits best with the content you're sharing. How to, benefit, list, tips, or reasons. And I would also like to say that headline is kind of like, well, you've seen in a blog post, headline. Well, there's the title, then there's the headline, and then there's a heading 1, or there's the main heading 1, 2, and 3. So these headlines in your Instagram, what I am saying to do is literally write the caption, and then at the top of the caption, put your headline so that it's almost like this is what you're about to read. So I have combined those headlines with the hooks. So the how-to is, this is the easiest 5-step ghee recipe ever, right? So I've taken one of the hooks from the other page and I rewrote the how-to so it becomes a hook within a headline. The benefit, read this if you want to improve your digestion by substituting 1 ingredient. So it leaves them hanging. It doesn't like spoil the ending, right? But it hooks them into want to read more. 5 brain healthy cake recipes that actually taste good. So this one, I just tweaked it a bit. 3 tips for blank that actually work. So what I did was 5 brain healthy cake recipes that actually taste good. So I just tweaked it. And so you can do that for yourself. 7 tips about using ghee that I wish I knew sooner. So it says 5 things I wish I knew sooner. I just inserted the content in there and made that. And then the last one is reasons. Hear me out. Throw out your olive oil and replace it with this. So I think hear me out sounds good for that because you're about to give them excuses or reasons. So that fit there for me. So combine your headline with a hook. I know that it seems like a lot of work, but I would rather you write 3 really great posts with good value, great headlines with the hooks, and excellent CTAs than 10 posts that just kind of flop and, don't really do anything for you. So let's move on. Consumers' top priority is customer service, 47% of the time, followed by engaging content, 46% of the time, and transparency, which is 44%. So these statistics that don't add up to 100, by the way, so I didn't really understand that, but I thought it was pretty compelling, are from Sprout Social. If you don't follow them, definitely follow Sprout Social. They have some great content. But consumers' top priority in the content that you give to them are a pretty good, even, distribution of customer service, engaging content, and transparency. So when you're talking about customer service, engaging content, and transparency, you want to make sure that your posts are only solving one problem. So every time you communicate with your people, whether that's an email, a newsletter, same thing, a blog post, an Instagram post, a tweet, a story, whatever that is, a reel, you want to solve one problem. You want to go an inch wide, but a mile deep. Because if you go a mile wide and an inch deep, your breadth of knowledge is there, but your depth is not. And depth is what establishes your authority online. And so it's very, very important. If you've heard me say this in other classes, your authority helps shape, along with your relationships and your visibility, your influencer status. So whatever industry that you're in, if you want to be a bigger industry influencer, you need to have a deeper authority over your content. You need to be more visible sharing that authority, and that will build relationships. So you want to go an inch wide, mile deep, and solve one problem. Your clients want, again, the customer service, the engaging content, and transparency. We're going to talk about what that looks like for you. Customer service is kind of like, why don't you answer frequently asked questions? Because that's what customer service does. You want to make sure that they're not confused. You want to make sure that it's easy to work with you. You want to talk about how to get in touch with you, your terms, your policies, all of those things. But frequently asked questions is a really great place to start. So you can provide that customer service through your posts. Also, a way of doing customer service is giving shout outs to your clients, testimonials, telling stories, sharing user generated content. That is customer service because they are then being valued. Engaging content means you're giving them something that they want to hear, something that adds value, something that's like, ooh, wow, I really need to know that. And transparency is about showing the people behind the screen, behind the business. Sometimes transparency means your team if you're a business brand. Sometimes it means you if you're a personal brand. And in Angela and I's case, I would say we're a personal brand because we're friends. And even though we're a team, we're small enough to be a personal brand. We're just a two-person personal brand. So let's give some examples. So here's Angela and I's examples. The engaging content is the Instagram tip using the green screen filter that Angela did. If you have not seen that, highly recommend that you go over to our Instagram right now and watch that. The green screen filter on Instagram stories or reels or whatever is amazing, but it engages our perfect reader to want to go stop and do that. Angelin made that, okay? Just so you know that our perfect reader is us. Like, we model our posts after what we would want to know because that's who we're talking to. That's our ideal client, is people like us. So when Angelin made this and I saw it on my phone the next morning, I was like, oh, hell, I need to do that. So I engaged with her own thing because she was literally speaking to me. And I had so many other people talk to me about how cool that was. So customer service, this is another reel that you definitely have to go watch. We love watching our social club students glow up their Instagram reels. I love the word glow up. That is such an Angelin thing to say. And it's just a great description or action verb, whatever. But I love it. And it's Angelin literally took screen records of our clients that have made some amazing reels, squished them all together and just gave them a shout out. That is customer service. That is us loving on our clients and showing them that we see you, we care about you, we honor you, and we want to reward you by saying, hey, you did a great job. So that's customer service. Engaging content is value that they want to interact with. And then transparency is crap like this, where I saw this post and I was like, Angela, we got to do this. And she's like, oh, dear Lord. So she came over and we did it. And you definitely need to see what happens after this if you haven't already. But you'll notice that the transparency has 63 likes on it. And the we have 20 and 15. So I mean, honestly, 20 and 15 is a pretty good like number for us. We get a lot of views, but on reels and stuff, unless you're asking for that, you don't get a lot of engagement. So that's why we're going to talk about CTAs next. So benefit to action, call to action. That's what the CTAs are. And the ones we're going to talk about are specific benefit action. So you want to tell people what the benefit to them is if they act. So that is the type of call to action you want at the end of your posts. And again, we're talking about increasing the engagement on your Instagram, and it's threefold. So far we talked about the headlines, then we talked about the value in the content that you're sharing, what kind of content to share, and now we're talking about how to end it with a call to action. You want to focus on the engage and on how engaging will benefit the reader. So when you tell them to do something, you don't just say, like this post. You want to say why they should like this post, what's in it for them. My mom always says that everybody walks around with a sandwich board on them saying, what is in it for me? So we got to do that here. So here you go. Screenshot the next slide for 12 game-changing benefit to action call to actions. See what I did there? So this right here is a perfect example of a call to action that is benefit forward. Screenshot the next slide for 12 game-changing benefit to action CTAs. So it's telling them if they do this, this is what they will have. All right. So I have categorized these in 3 different categories: grow your following, build your know, like, and trust factor, and get more leads. So if you use these calls to action, that is what it will solicit for you on your Instagram post. And of course, this is like a life combination lock. You can have a bazillion headlines and different content ideas for your value add content, and they will all be different. Like one headline might go with this call to action and it'll all be switched up. So you want to find the one that works best for the content that you're posting. So let's go over these. Grow your following. Follow me for more blank tips. In the blanks here, usually it's like a goal or your niche. So in this instance, I would say follow me for more Instagram engagement tips. You want more engagement? Follow Next Chapter Social to learn how. Tag your Instagram bestie. So the reason why I would say that is a benefit to action, it's not blatant, it's not as straightforward as the others, but when you tag your bestie, basically you're telling them that they're your bestie, because they're then going to read the post and be like, oh, she thinks I'm her bestie. So it's kind of facilitating building relationships online. And of course, it's going to grow your following too. And if you agree, share this post to your story so others can learn too. So I really like that one. I think that works really well for a lot of our content. And think about whatever you do. You could say, if you agree with this roofing tip, plumbing tip, healthy tip, exercise tip, whatever it is, share this post to your stories so that your followers can learn too. Build your know, like, and trust. Let me know your favorite blank below. So this is like and trust. So let's say I was talking about my favorite on Brookulin's Bungalow, my other account. Let's say I was talking about my favorite thrift store. Okay. I would ask my followers, let me know your favorite thrift store below, or let me know your favorite thrift store find below. And then that would facilitate some bonding because those are my followers that also go to thrift stores and also have collections. Save this post if you want. And then again, a goal, or in this case, an ideal client. Save this post if you want to collect globes too, or something like that. It just kind of depends on what the content is. Be sure to save this post now so that you can come back and implement it later. Want to learn more? Head over to my stories for 3 bonus tips. Now, that out of all of them, that's my favorite because it is, if you've watched The Most Human Company Wins, I say that the 7-4-11 formula, 7 hours, 4 locations, 11 interactions. Well, if you want to learn more, so that means they're watching your reel or flipping through your carousel, or they're on your feed somehow, and you've asked them to head over to your stories. Well, they are now moving to another location to have another interaction with you. So that's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And I really like that. You want to move them around to interact with you in different locations. Get more leads. Want a copy? Comment with blank below and I'll get it right over. I like when I say comment with blank below, I like filling in that blank with like purple monkeys or, green egg or, whatever it is. I like to say something weird there. And the reason why is because if other people stumble across and they see all these comments with purple monkey in it, they're going to be like, what in the hell are they talking about? It just makes them be like, what? And they stop and they have to read through my post to see why everyone is saying purple monkey at the end. So I like to put something weird there. And it tends to get more engagement. That's just a little tip. If you want to learn how to have this too, message me now. Again, just like the head over to my 3 bonus tips, this is enticing them to DM you and interact with you in another location. If you want blank, click the link in my bio before it's gone. And it's not necessarily interacting with you, but if your link in your bio is to your website, then it is. Maybe it's to a specific product, something, but you just want to make sure that you're conversational in your product post listings on your website so they at least get a little bit more of you. And that's how you kind of maximize that situation. Let's see. If you want blank, comment with your favorite emoji below. That's a really good one. I love emojis. I would have to really think about which my favorite one is, but I think that people would want to show me what their favorite emoji is. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, this one's my favorite. Oh, this one's my favorite. And it becomes kind of a competition between your readers. So all of these actions benefit the actor in some way. And so you want to come up with your own, use these as a really good starting point. I swiped a lot of these off of Instagram. So, I mean, it's not like I just made all these up. Google it, find lists for yourself, tweak these and combine them with headlines. So let's recap. You're going to write your value add content first. That value add content is going to be engaging, customer service, transparency. It can be all kinds of other things, but your engaging content is kind of like when you're teaching within your niche. Your customer service is when you're loving on your customers somehow, some way. And your transparency is when you're letting them in on who you are. So, it all goes back to your buckets in the content buckets class. So just kind of pull that out, but this is another way of saying the same thing. And this is, according to Sprout Social, what clients want from the people that they follow. They want transparency, they want customer service, they want engaging content. So let's go back over here. You want to extract a headline from that content and you want to add a hook. So you want to combine the headlines with the hook. Remember the reasons, the lists, the how to, and then the hooks are very easy to incorporate with that. I did that in about 2 seconds. But your headline is going to come from whatever your content is. You're going to kind of summarize it with a beginning, a middle, and an end, step 1, 2, and 3. Just really kind of boil down what it is you talked about. Take out the headline, infuse it with a hook, and put it at the top. And then you're going to end with a call to action that leads with how the action will benefit them in some way. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let us know on social. Tag us at Next Chapter Social, and let us see your posts that you're, slaying with your 3 new ways of creating super engaging Instagram posts. So see you later.